or, you know, it's just saying.
Let's start.
Yeah,
Home safety stuff. This year is ready.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Operational updates.
I don't really have anything to add to that. We did get one deputy back from an injury last week.
Number 2, professional service contract for Power EMS.
This is our software company for all our policies and also accreditation.
Questions? Need a motion. Mr. Granger makes the motion. All in favor? Opposed, carried. Okay, number 3, overnight travel authorization for the undersheriff to go to the undersheriff's conference in Saratoga Springs.
This is the annual Sheriff Association training conference.
Mr. Carroll makes the motion. All in favor? Opposed, carried. Number 4, proclamation, Correction Officers Week, May 1st through 7th.
Probably should have done this last month. I thought I was going to hit it right this weekend. I had my dates wrong. But correction officers week is next week. Also, it's okay for available, like a couple guys that started hanging about a month ago.
So we'll do a chairwoman's proclamation, and if you want to do it at the board meeting, you can still do a presentation at the board meeting, but accepting the resolution or proclamation is passed. The event is, but we can still do it at the board meeting. Okay. Okay.
Just need a motion. No motion. Okay, number 5, another proclamation for National Police Week, and it's May 11th through 16th.
Correct, and I think there's a couple officers on there for stuff, is my understanding. I also had a couple deputies, we had one that saved a life on a CPR call, had a lot of action. 28 with the first money laundering case, and there's one other incident that, so the first one I can't remember what it was, but I had like 3 people I had through that.
You'll be here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Do we? This one we need a resolution. Mr. Gresham moves it. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, carried. Number 6, 2022 appropriation for internet services for $17.46.
I think we got one $17.
David, are you gonna make the motion for this one? Okay, Mr. Granger makes the motion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, carried. Number 7, grant application from the U.S. Department of Justice for both bulletproof vest.
Dave's gonna talk about 7, and we'll also talk about 8 as well.
Okay.
Seven is our annual bulletproof vest grant, where the federal government pays for half the vest, up to $400.
Need a motion for this one. Ms. Springer makes the motion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, carried. Okay, number 8, discussion civil program, Pinewood Consulting,
We've been the same civil program for
ages.
20-some years. Still works. However, the state changed the way they collect the interest on consumer debt. They were collecting everything at 9%. Effective the 30th of this month, it goes to 2%. And they're making it retroactive 2%. Which means all the payments we have in the civil system have to be recalculated at 2%. Worked with the vendor. She's came up with a modification to the program. So her program will be able to do it. There's 8 counties, or 8 people that use her program, 7 counties in Parsons and Buffalo. And whatever the cost was, she split it up by 8, and it's gonna charge us $2,500 if we need that piece of the program. Kind of sitting and waiting, because I hate to spend money we don't need to spend. There's a lawsuit in now, but there's no, wasn't a ruling on it. If they're gonna actually run it over, they'll ask about the 2%.
Then you have to.
If they go retroactive, we're gonna have to we're gonna have to reserve all the accounts to the 2%, which is anywhere from 100 to 200 accounts we have. And somebody's gonna have to go through and recalculate it, but if we buy the program, that'll do it within a couple of minutes of each account we have.
So they made
By hand, it would be, put all the hours, what to do each account. So, I guess we're looking for permission to buy the piece of the program if we need it. And we're allowed to put a recalculation fee on the accounts. So we would get some of the money back from the accounts.
they were issue checks.
Well, we would charge, we have to reserve all the papers, so they're gonna send us all the papers and say 2% instead of 9% to reserve. We'll charge them a fee to reserve them, then we would charge them a recalculation fee on top of that.
Excuse me, is it happy?
It's a mess. It's a mess.
So, if I'm understanding this right, people that don't pay their penalties are being charged 9%.
Yes.
Now we're gonna lower their interest rate, but everybody else is going up right now.
Right. And is, what is it, 5% college institutions besides the 9%, it's 5% college.
Most of these are just consumer debt, so most of these are credit cards for chasing and things like that, but the state went through and changed it to 2%, made it retroactive.
I wish we make mine 2%.
Huh?
I wish we make our cards 2% interest.
So,
Hey. Everybody understand that?
Thinking it's.
The federal government did this, right, not the state.
state,
The state did it.
state.
Actually, this should be an FYI, let's do it.
FYI, you want your motion?
No, I think, Dave, if you want to have Sue send me over a block, although I might have it. She's got a $2,500 quote right here. I would just take this discussion piece and put it under your 2,000 and under block, then you can just do it.
Yeah, it was one of those things where we were waiting for the lawsuit to put a stop to this, but it goes into effect Saturday and no judges ruled out it yet. And we really can't wait another month, because that's gonna put us way behind with the accounts. So,
Because the most it's gonna cost you, right, for this upgrade is the $2,500, yeah.
so we don't wanna spend the 2,500 or some judges want to roll it. They can't do it. So, yeah, wait until the last minute.
At least it's there, you need it, yeah.
Correct.
Okay, number 9, FYI, Main Street Insurance, liability property insurance.
We've been doing this for probably 7, 8 years now for the mountain unit. It's the insurance for.
BW Electronics.
This is the company we deal with to certify our radars every year.
Number 10, disposition of fixed assets. Read that in there?
This is an older radar that failed testing and can't be repaired, or at least can't be repaired economically.
Just even show up on a fixed assets inventory anymore. That old. We would give them permission to dispose of it, but it doesn't even show up on a fixed assets inventory anymore.
So we don't need it.
Well, you don't, but you should.
What do we actually do with that when we dispose of it?
This one, garbage.
Garbage?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything salvageable. I mean, it's old.
But it's just something I wouldn't think that you'd wanna try to auction off, out there, and get rid of. I'm just curious.
Dave, I think that's why what my point is, it's so old, it's fallen off.
I understand that, but you understand, there's people out there that buy anything, but those people are the people you probably don't want this stuff to end up in their hands.
Okay, someone like to make a motion? Mr. Granger makes a motion, all in favor? Opposed, carried. County Jail, number 1, position filled for one position, correction officer, part-time.
Dennis Maxwell was part-time. He's been elevated to full-time and is looking to backfill our part-time position.
Mr. Carroll makes a motion, all in favor? Aye.
Opposed, carried.
Number 2, operational updates. Is there
Yeah, I don't really have anything to highlight on that.
any? Number 3, FYI, contract,
This is for the live scan in the jail, which does the fingerprint for both criminal and civil, when I say civil, I mean crystal evidence.
911 transfer.
This is an accounting issue to the software. This original purchase was under a 0.2, which is a fixed asset that needs to go to a different category. So it's a transfer that.
Someone like to give permission for that? Mr. Burke makes a motion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, carried. Anything else?
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Marion. Okay, Ryan. Number 1, overnight travel authorization for Bill Stryker. Conference? Fire Chiefs Conference, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Granger makes the motion. Number 2, amend resolution number 13-269 to adopt new rates for the EMS training coordinator.
Yeah, what this is back in 2013, the rates were set for our various EMS instructors. As we were looking at running a daytime team class, we had to reach out to the county because none of our CICs are able to do daytime one. So that question came up about what our fee schedule was. So we took a look at that, we compared it across Western New York, found we were pretty low compared to the other ones. So looking at the numbers, looking at the overall budget in EMS, comparing it, we felt it was some adjustments that we made that, being 9 years was a good time to revisit that and look at increasing those a little bit. With that, there was a couple of categories that we really didn't feel were a couple of money more, so in those categories, just from time to time, we found for some a little bit of confusion there. So we go back and look at those applications that you offer. So we will copy of the batch of those.
Any questions on that?
Brian, so how many CICs we got? We got 2 in the county, right? 3. We got 3. Yes, okay. How about CLIs?
CLI is currently 5, and we do have a class coming up here in 2-3 weeks.
Okay. I'm just curious on those. I see that. Are we getting much inquiry on that?
We're not handling the registration, that goes right to Erie County.
It was right there. I see it through Erie County.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know what they asked so far with the registrations. We're just really kind of officially push that out. It's been brought up before, but the actual registration wasn't pushed out until just yesterday.
Yeah, I see that. I just wondered if you were getting any, much, I know it just came out as much response. Now, are our CICs, are they getting, I see you have the amount, but are they getting paid for their prep time too? For the class? Or is that just class time?
It's just class time.
So they're not getting prep time?
No mileage or anything like that.
Yeah, okay, I wasn't so much worried about the mileage, but their prep time, because as being a helper, I know it takes quite an effort.
And typically,
To be
they'll
prepared.
put in like an extra half an hour, so. I have to sure that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
A skills night or something like that, where there's time to set up stations, things like that, so.
Because my thing is, I just want to make sure that they're getting enough compensation for their prep time to prep for the class.
And I try to model that on other state fighters, so for instance, each of their classes has a designated amount of, non-classroom time for the instructor, so we try to model it after that, so that.
Okay.
To compensate them for that time, because it's especially on skills night, we have to set up stations or pick up stations afterwards.
Any other questions? Someone like to make a motion? This? Mr. Brick makes a motion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay, number 3, amend FYI.
Yeah, we're actually going to withdraw that, that was gonna be amended, she got married and moved. That was approved a month or two ago. However, that was for our CME weekend, we attended this weekend, we had, low registration in that, so, New York State's given multiple different extensions over COVID, so a lot of our EMTs don't expire until maybe 2024. We have only about 4 or 5 this year, a handful next year. So we decided that we're just get that for this year with that expensive. We'll take it next year. We'll still get those ones that expire next year. The earliest that we signed up was September of next year, so that was still good enough time to complete that.
Number 4, amend FYI.
2 years ago, Pike went online with their paramedic through some COVID changes in protocols and things that they were allowed to do the executive order. So part of that, at the time, we had an agreement set up with Pike on how they're going to operate. Since that, we revisited that with Pike and amended that to where, depending if Monroe is unavailable around a position, Pike goes automatically to the neighboring district. So it was SL, so we just wanted to amend that dispatch procedure. Their commissioners wanted, an official agreement between our office and them. So let's just go back to say that we will automatic those, and then outside the county, they can go as requested by that first agency.
Questions on those? Okay, number 5, proclamation. Proclaiming the week, May 15th through the 21st, as Emergency Medical Services Week in Wyoming County.
And hospital is looking at doing something. They typically try to do something every year to recognize the national providers to give away small as well.
Mr. Burke makes the motion, all in favor? Opposed, carried. Number 6, operational updates, EMS.
On the EMS side, our drop calls are remaining about average, about 9%, so we're a little bit better than we were before, but our call volume is up a little bit this year, overall compared to last year. The roles availability has gotten a little bit better the last month or 2. We had one of the paramedics come back online. They brought some additional staff, so their availability has increased quite a bit from what it was this year. You have an interview set up tomorrow through the health department, college position. to take care of the Monroe issue there, so.
Right, if the county's gonna do the billing, we have a contract with Monroe, keep it with Monroe, or will it have to be with the county?
Prepare, you'll still have the Monroe, we'll have to agree as well with that. So it'll essentially be the same thing.
All right, just a question came up.
Yeah, compared to anyone on the left side, unless the other agencies decide to want to have a building on it, that's a lot. The fire training center has been discussing with the USDA on that grant. Once we submit the paperwork to them, we should have that money in about 6 to 9 days. That money's good for a year. However, we can request an extension. So we met with Mike last week to kind of finalize our rough design. So he's going to have campus take a look at that and give us a ballpark price on what that would be. We sent back a series of questions on things that Mike and I had that came up. I'm wondering what was going to be covered as far as expenses, and when he starts getting HVAC design now and stuff like that, it's going to be reimbursable. So the long of that is, one thing we're waiting for clarification is Mike figures I need 2 additional part-time recruiting carpenters. They believe that's going to be covered, but he just wanted that official answer. So far, it looks like a lot of the stuff that we were asking them about will be covered, which is good news. Mike does anticipate to start doing this work, March, April next year, depending on weather. He doesn't want to start doing anything this fall, and especially we have to pull out the outside metal sheet and all that. Depending on what happens with snow, so and just his workload what he does for the rest of the year. So he's anticipating about this time next year to be starting on that, and hopes to be wrapped up early fall of next year. Now, just the last item, we had put out the bid request. Previous legal counsel wanted us to do that to make sure there's no conflicts of interest. We didn't receive any bids back on that, so in talking with some of the places, they indicated they were willing to work with us at some other arrangements, so we're gonna reach back out to them, see about getting a couple of vehicles up at the fire training center, and see what we can negotiate with them on that.
Any questions on those items? Okay. Anything more, Brian? Thank you. Afternoon, Don. This was second monthly report.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so I don't see. Okay, so monthly reports, cash. As of up through March, current 85 permits, a little over 4 million estimated construction going on. We are almost at 28,000 in our current revenue. Sure, I'm pretty good there. Questions on this?
Number 2, municipal income statement.
And to show you what's happening in the municipal income statement, so you can see where page 3. So if you go to page 3, you can see where we're at with the available budget for the end of the year. Okay. If you're looking at the first sheet there too, you see last year we actually came in at 197,000 in revenue. Far exceeded our 135.5 on our anticipated number. So last year was actually our best year ever in the history of the department.
Any questions we have on that? Okay, number 4, appropriation for Bella Group.
We have the old outstanding bill, not old outstanding, I got another bill from the top. This dates back to the cleanup on the MK site. When we had to order the emergency asbestos testing. Last year I had to look back and see, what had happened. So I wanted to make sure we didn't miss anything and pay the gigs. So you had to go through the old ACS bills to find out if it really was paid. And somebody just missed it, but it wasn't. In going back to what had happened the prior year, we were in and out of a couple of committee sessions back to back, 2 months of committees to find out whether IDA was going to pay it. We were in this whole trying to get somebody thrown off the site. IDA was trying to get involved. And we ended up getting the appropriation done last year, but it never got paid. So they're not asking for any more money, they're just asking if they'll get paid. So we're appropriating it.
Motion for that one.
Um,
Mr. Brick? All in favor?
Jim Pierce, the LDC wasn't gonna pick that up.
Yeah, and it really shouldn't have, because it was a courtesy action on
Yeah, right.
code enforcement in order to get people off the site. That's what's causing all the problems. So,
But the guy's taking all the stainless steel off.
yeah, I'm one of the buildings to get the stainless out of, yeah. Amongst other things.
All in favor on that?
Aye.
Number 5, bid award for Conway Motors.
Yep, so we did our bid opening on the 22nd. Conway Motors did come in a low bid again. I received 4 bids back. One was Conway's, Upstate Chevy, Pioneer, and McClurg's. Most everybody this year, when they did turn in a bid, said on delivery date to be determined. They were bidding stuff that was on their lot because nobody was able to order anything. They guaranteed it was going to be here this year. So we've been, bids, Jeep Cherokee Latitudes to, Conroy's actually had a Ford Escape that's on the lot, so they did what they had. They came in at 27.7. High bid was 36.3. So, Conroy was under. I did budget 30,000 last year, just taking a guess at it, not knowing what was going to happen in the vehicle industry. I didn't think anybody was going to come in under 30, to tell you the truth. So I'm surprised they got them back under 30. Preferred color was black on the bids. The one that we would be getting is dark navy blue. But you're going to need to get what you get right now.
There's been some interest in highway and buildings and grounds about leasing.
Yeah, I've been talking with Mike about that.
Anything you could,
It's something that we could take advantage of. I want to talk to them a little bit more about what they have and some prices and stuff. I mean, I got some numbers thrown at me from Mike, but I want to get more of an opinion.
they got to meet with the fellow enterprise here, so maybe you can sit down and.
Yep, I told him I would love to see where we're at with that. That might be a new approach to how we've done it.
Someone like to make the motion for this?
Sure.
Mr. Brick makes the motion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
That's all I got.
That's it. Okay.
So see what happens in the house here
Yeah.
as far as.
I'm just gonna start erecting steel maybe Monday at the airport. Is there anything you need to be hooked up with?
Yeah, the engineer reached out and talked to me about the footings and stuff.
Yeah.
Pour it on again.
They
So
poured walls yesterday.
yeah, he was saying about it. So I
When they get done, is it the contact low or is it up?
No, they
Gotta be somebody.
They got the permit.
Know you're.
I'll hang out with you.
Well, that's what happens. Stand to me.
Hi, John. How are you?
That's what
Good. We're over. So I did number 1 of position create fill for probation officer training.
Yeah, we have an officer that's leaving, so we always replace him with a training.
Right. Any questions for Jen on that one?
So this job here isn't a create a new job, it's just to fill the one that's vacant,
It's
right?
just to fill the one that's vacated, but I think they would create because it's a trainee instead of an officer.
Okay,
I'm not
It's the
sure.
same way that DSS works, which is why I added the position code for the position that's being vacated, because that one will be held vacant until they complete their trainee period.
until,
And then she'll move the new person
Oh, okay.
into.
so this is another one that's being trained and
Yeah.
ongoing.
So
Is,
all she has to do is move the trainee into this position one day prior to its sunsetting.
okay, okay, I get it, I get that.
Yeah, that's why it was set up that way, so it's not a new position.
Yeah,
Okay, I'd like to make a motion for this. This Roberts makes a motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sounds good.
I think you can do that, if you were interested.
I have, he's coming. We'll do, number G, number 1, service contract for New York State Prosecutors Training Institute. Data storage, case management system. And
So this has been in effect since 2019,
right,
but they have like annual pricing.
questions on that? Someone like to move it? Mr. Rachel makes the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Norms, nothing?
Nobody's on.
Told me this morning outside that they got a contract, or defender did, for 2021 yesterday
Really?
from the state.
At least we got it.
Do they realize that was already gone?
So $186,000.
At least we got it.
Well, I just got a contract, don't have the money yet.
Don't have the money yet. We got the contract.
I said email Jan on it.
So say, we can get the money, you're just getting.
No, just a contract. That's this is for 21. They really got it.
Did you hear that? I heard that end of the week, tracing is all done. The tracing for COVID,
Oh, it is.
yep, it's all done. Albany shutting their lines down and everything else, so you're on your own.
I should think so.
Oh,
It's okay, nobody's doing it anyway.
I forgot to tell you, you were on your own before.
Huh?
You were on your own before.
Right.
You done?
Well, I'd like to be.
We have one more thing to do.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Are you
I'm gonna,
I see you. Huh?
Breakfast?
the,
Here
I am.
the email, did you get the
I have
email?
another meeting, didn't mean to
He
be
didn't say
late.
the price.
I had to come to your meeting.
But he said that, the rest of the
I
money.
had something else going, but couldn't be here at 1.
That's fine.
It's fine, if that's
Yeah.
what it's doing, I'm thinking, I'm not gonna buy breakfast for 20.
I know, that's what I think. I just start with Brad. So you're going? Did you? Okay,
You go?
Mr. Holmes?
I guess so.
Phil, are you ready?
I guess so.
You want me to go?
I'll send out.
You go to the
My name's Phil, and this is Sue's wife, and, thanks for meeting with us today. And, just gonna give you a quick, brief summary of what's going on and why I'm here, all my yards on over. Me and my wife purchased some land about 4 or 5 months ago, and shortly after we bought the land, we got a notice, you know, from the tax people and from the building department that there was an open permit on it. And we got the open permit, and the permit was for a shed, and we ended up buying, you know, 7 acres of land with a cabin on it. And that was what the tax rolls and everything was, and that's what we assumed we were buying. I get to my breakfast, I didn't know the stairs. And so how it ended up going, we ended up doing some research into to find out, you know, what was going on. I just gotta get to some of my paperwork so I can recite it a little better. What we came up with is, it was a previous owner, was you know, Robert Rowan or whatever, you know, he ended up purchasing the land 10, well, basically 05, okay, in 06. Right after, shortly after he bought it, he started building his cabin. Well, he started it without a permit, and the whole 9 yards. So the building department went out there and somebody reported, I don't know how it ever got started, but they ended up going out there and they gave him a permit to, you know, after he started it. And after they gave him the permit, that was in 06, and he started the land, you know, without it, blah, 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 whatever the whole thing was. But it went 13 years from that point until 2019, when the building department again went back up there again to look at the property. Well, they looked at the property and they put a stop work order and everything out of the shed. And they cited the guy in the whole 9 yards. So during this time, from that whole 13-year span, the original owner, I mean, he just every year kept going down paying the permit, pay the permit, pay the permit every year, after $50. Well, after, you know, the building department went up there and cited him that, you know, he was in violation, they ended up allowing him to renew it again for the following 2 years, you know, before we bought it. And so.
Let me say something, okay? I want to make this a little clearer. A lot of things bought the property, and they began erecting a building. They were stopped by the building department, forced to get a building permit. Several of the violations that are on the building permit were in effect at the time they issued the building permit. No property address. It's not on the building permit. You should have been given a building permit without the property address, right? That's what the rules say, okay? Rules also say that every year, the property is supposed to be inspected. Property wasn't inspected for 13 years after the issuance of the building permit. They were cited with 3 violations: electrical, the house number, and a smoke detector. Right?
The thing, well,
Nothing happened except the renewal of the permit for another 2.5 years until we purchased it. We purchased it, and now everything's got to be taken care of. Everything's got to be brought up to code.
the point that I'm trying to get at is that, you know, you expect the public to go out every day and be perfect. You know, I drive down the road, don't have a license plate, I'm gonna get a ticket. The building inspector shows up and my railings are over 4 inches apart, I gotta tear the railings apart. You know, if I don't meet egress, I don't do this. I have to get up every day and march to a band every day. I expect the same kind of courtesy in return. I mean, I could come up with 20 violations by the building department, and then they want me to renew a permit that doesn't even exist.
We didn't take, this is the other thing.
Our
We were
neighbors
told
on it.
buyer beware, okay? That our attorney is screwed up because he didn't find this permit. These permits are not put against the properties. If any of you have purchased property recently, do you search for open permits on your properties?
I mean, some of the violations that the building department did was number one, by law, every year it's supposed to be inspected if the permit's open. They never showed up for 13 years. You know, that was number one. Number two is before you can fill out a permit, you have to have tax ID number, the address. I can show you everything that's supposed to be on that permit. You know, that's number 2 violation. Number 3, we say electrical inspection. Well, there was a meter set back in 2010, so I'm assuming that the electric was. We tried to call NISAC and deal with all that, but you can't because they don't keep the records more than 7 years.
It was inspected or we would have never turned the electric on. I said, well, can we get a copy of that inspection? No, it's too long, we don't keep things that way. We have no way of rectifying these things that they want done. We want this permit gone. We didn't ask for it, we didn't cause these problems, and we want it gone.
Anybody have any questions on that?
We checked all the state regs.
What's the cost that they're looking for?
I don't know. It's got an underground service right now.
We have to rip up all of the electric. All of it would all have to be ripped up.
To be inspected,
Yes.
but to renew the permit or anything, is there a cost associated with that now?
Why would we renew a permit that we didn't own?
I don't know, that's what,
He's telling us the permit is ours now. It's not ours. We never applied for it. We never asked for it. Okay? We bought a property with a cabin on it. This permit is for a shed. It's not a shed, it's a cabin. It's a beautiful property with this lovely cabin on it. We bought it. It was a nice place for our son to escape to and frankly to get out of our acting hair. And now this is more of a problem than he is.
The problem is the building department had 18 years to fix the problems. Or 16, 18 years, and they never address it. You know, every year they just kept going on and on and on, and extending it, making it worse and worse and worse as it went. And then when the department went up there in 2019, you know, and they cited them, I mean, they couldn't work, you know, stop work order, violation notice on them, fix it. And then they sit there and allow them to come back in and renew the permit. The problem that's happening is, and I'm seeing it everywhere. Either the people, you know, this buying beware crap, I don't want to hear that coming out of anyone's mouth. You know, because even for one, nobody's getting notified. I know it's happening multiple times. It's not just our case, it's what keeps going and going and going. You know what I mean? And when I'm all the way back to the beginning, you expect us to be 100%. Why expect the same thing in return at the end of the day? I didn't ask for none of these. I didn't ask for any of these problems. All we did is bought the land. We thought we had clear title. We went through, did the search, went through the whole 9 yards, did the way you're supposed to do it. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the pile of
He
papers.
asked me to tell you, if you have some regulation that tells him that he has to search for a building permit, he would love for you to call him and point it out to him.
there is no state regulation that requires you to search for a home permit if you're gonna buy a property.
There is, Mr. Kelly would like it.
No, he said there isn't.
Well, then-
He said.
Why is it our attorney's question for not?
I guess I got a question.
Yes, sir.
When was the last permit issued?
2006.
2006 was the last time a permit was issued?
It's the same permit.
Or the payment was paid?
It's the
The
same.
payment was paid right up until the day you just was bought.
06. Okay, and when did you purchase the property?
Last August.
Last August, so
August of 21.
21, okay, thank you.
Yeah, it was 10/6 was the permit was issued, and then we ended up buying it. So
It's been going on for 16 years.
21. One other issue I got too, and there's been multiple issues, but the other one that we got is, I know Mr. Roberts was contacted by the sheriff's department for a building on Buffalo Road that was basically unlivable. And, I have a real issue with that because the scenario that we went through and all of that is that it was a place that the person was living in, was very, it shouldn't even have been living in. And it took Mr. Roberts 4 months before they went up there and even looked at the building. The part that bothers me the most is this person ended up going into the hospital. 2 weeks after they walked out of the hospital, they were released to the same freaking house. The idea is we have all these departments and we pay all this money to have them for people's safety and everything else.
If we are not
That's a
all of this stuff,
You know, you
this
guys,
person could have died in that house.
you know, I mean, if we weren't protecting that person, what would have happened to him at the end of the day? You know, and then I get into, you know, just being straight across the board, treat everybody in a fair, respectful manner. I put a shed up at my house and put my camper in. I put a little 12 by 10. As soon as they showed up, they cited me, had no problems, you know, finding me in, making me go all the way back to zoning and start all over again. And pay the fine, pay a new building permit, pay a new zoning permit, had no problems doing that. Yet I sit here and watch my neighbor spend years and years and years. He built the cabin and he's living, used it every summer, stayed in there.
and no one said a word for years and years and years, and you knew all about it. It ain't like it was a big secret. You went up there and you seen who started. The tax department knew all about it from day one.
It's discrimination. Plain and simple.
I mean, the bottom line is, when is it gonna start shifting the other way? When are people gonna be accountable for their positions? I am, every day I
I'm
go to
accountable
work.
for my position. You guys make sure of that.
You know, I screw up one little bit, somebody's all over you for it, trust me. That's the way it works. And I just expect the same thing in return, the same respect.
Well, Mr. Roberts also has a job to do, and he has to follow the state regulations.
That's right, you have state regulations, this is what we're
Tell me,
talking about.
tell me where state regulations.
State regulations.
I have dealt with Mr. Roberts on a building, and, you know, we had to go through, trying to find insulation that met state regulations. We had to drive all the way to Oriole to get it, because nobody cared.
We're talking
But
about
it's not
safety issues.
it's the state sets regulations, and he has to.
But see, I'm talking basic regulations, okay? Day number one, when you go in to fill out a permit, why can't you do it right? The permit's only supposed to be good for 2 years, that's it. After 2 years, it expires. And it's up to the owner of the permit to go in and have to apply again for yearly extensions on it. This permit, one guy just walks in and pays for it every year. The idea of all of that is so that permits don't continue to keep going like this. You know how many scenarios that I've been in where I see that people put out an addition or a deck, and they go through and they get it halfway done, you know, and they'll be living in it for 10 years, never finish it. Oh, concept of it.
The building house and then live for 30 years. So we sell to some foreign guy and how many homes.
In order to wrap this up, what are you looking for?
We want this to go on. We don't want them harassing us anymore about a permit we did not take out.
Someone's gonna have to get a permit, correct, Don?
It needs to be finished, the work just needs to be finished. We're talking a smoke detector, final electrical inspection, a final inspection by our environmental. It's a.
So if that gets done, then this project is pretty much rectified.
What's he expect from him? What do you expect from him for? Does he have to do it, finish it?
That's not make sense.
An address
Posted what, on the house?
Gotta do. You just have to find someone to do the final electrical inspection. Yeah, you do have to pay.
I understand what he's saying, but I know this guy likes to. I understand what he's saying, he shouldn't be, I understand, he shouldn't be responsible for somebody's inability to finish something, which should have been finished.
So what are we gonna do to rectify this? Anything or? I mean, I'm allowed
So to make it clear, when we first found out about this, we tried to rectify these situations. Address is simple, smoke detector is simple. Contact him, I said, no, not simple.
Wow.
Why do you take?
Why don't you have to go through nice to begin with, don't you have to clock? You have to contact the watch.
You need a final electrical inspection inside.
There's one of those.
Electrical service installation.
I went and got a trial yesterday, there's no,
Did you
there's no
Did I create
rough
it?
inspection in that.
No, you didn't create it, but.
I went to your office and went to the entire file yesterday, and there's no rough electrical inspection in there.
There's services working on the.
Yes, there is.
We're here to try to.
There's been a final inspection
Somewhere we.
They don't send us.
It's not a waste of time, you know, it's not wasting your time, no big deal, I think it's just as quick, but, you know, there's other avenues I can go down. You know, it really is.
You're not wasting our time, but I know we put on the agenda for 10 minutes.
Well, can I, next month, have half an hour, 10 minutes?
So what do we need to fix it? We gotta fix this.
Okay,
So
number one is I wanna know why it took him 4 months to show up to this house.
the issue is it needs to be fixed, right?
Yeah, that needs to be.
Let's fix it.
That's the issue that needs to be fixed.
That's what
Right
we
now, I want an
did.
answer why it took you 4 months to show up.
That's what you want, is it fixed? Let's fix the issue.
That's right.
What we need to do.
But how are you gonna fix it the next time?
But that's,
How do we fix it without us incurring an expense that we should?
we are going to discuss how we should fix this.
Okay.
Not sit here and have 3 different conversations, 3 different ways upon everybody's beliefs. We know that there's an issue. the way I see it, we need to sit down and figure out how we can fix this and come to, so it's completed. Let's not take a molehill and make a mountain out of it. Let's fix it.
Okay, you keep ricocheting that it's just a minor things,
I've
okay?
been trying to
It's
fix
not
this
just
since
mine.
October. He's not willing to.
Now, let's not point fingers. Now, again, you are talking and he is talking, and you're talking over one another, and we're not getting the logistics of it, okay? I hate to be rude, but this is the way it should be.
Well, ask me then what the logistics are. Ask me what they are. Logistics are is that we didn't create none of these problems. He willingly went all along and allowed that building to be not meeting building codes, okay, for many, many years. So all of a sudden, we buy it, now it's our fault. And he had many, many times to correct the problem. 2 years ago, when they went up there and they put a stop work order thing, that's when it should have ended completely. But no, it continued on, continued on. How's that fixing anything? So just because we bought it, now it's our responsibility after it's all started, that's just a minor tip of it. You know, I've got it all the way back to the beginning. I expect the same respect back when I get up in the morning. You know what I mean? That's the way it works. I can tell I'm just wasting my time. You think I'm nothing but being a loud mouth. But the next level is it's not a state mandated program. If I need to start heading down that direction, then I will. I have no problems with that. We spend over $500,000 a year for this department. And for what? There's other avenues we could be going down. You know, is that the avenue that you want to go, or do you want to try to fix some of the problems? Every time I try to bring something up, nobody listens to anything. They just let departments like that just run rampant without no oversight. He's got the powerhouse, and he's had it for years. My time is up. I hope you guys have a nice day. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You know, I hope maybe the things that a little bit, you understand.
Prior to budgets.
Don, did you have anything to bring up?
I just had one item on the
Yeah,
agenda.
we passed it. You got anything?
I'm sorry.
I don't, other than, there's gonna be some more discussions about technology, storage. Actually, there was emails going back and forth today with the sheriff and Bill and I. We're gonna sit down and discuss what some avenues to take as we approach budget season. So hopefully they'll come up with some good ideas that are not high cost, but it is an issue. You know, it's the world we live in today. So
Yes.
pretty sure. All those dangle electronic stuff. I thought he was pointing to you. I'm like, what'd Jim do? So, other than that, I have nothing else. Any questions, concerns? Yes, sir.
I read the report in the paper about the corrections office in New York County Sheriff's Department. The case is being prosecuted by Wyoming County District Attorney.
That must be,
Robert D.
yeah. Yes, that's true. We are handling, they've asked for a special prosecutor, so we're handling that. With us bringing on Mr. Coe too, we've been asking people to handle stuff for us as well. So we're kind of doing that back and forth at this point. As soon as you put your feelers out and say, hey, we take something, like, oh yeah, by the way, we have this. So we that's what we do. We help each other out. So Vince is handling that. And I think he'll be going up to your county soon to present it to the grand jury up there.
Is the litigation will be held up there?
Yeah,
Not here.
yes, it has to go up there.
I get a little more right out there.
Yeah, we kind of thought that case was gonna resolve itself, but
That's apparently not.
but the main part of it is not, there's like a domestic component to it, but there's most of it is a DWI case.
Yeah.
So she was alleged to be over a 3-0, so it's not that results.
It's all BS.
That's okay. Yeah, it's just amazing that the cases that they don't lie. You know, her daughter did a wonderful job.
Glad to hear it.
Wonderful job.
She never tells me.
Well, I love, yes, she's done great. That's why I heard it.
No, she's not.
But we had a tough trial, we had a tough witness. This is one of those cases we didn't win completely, but she did win something, which is based on the circumstances was a win. As I tell the family in this particular case, why, in 16 other counties, they wouldn't even have given this the light of day. But the individual was worth the fight. So I'm proud of that. So,
I hope she does well.
proud of her. She's doing a great job. Anything else?
No, I think.
You guys had enough finger pointing?
Thank you, Don. Okay. Any other business to come forward before we say? Yes, John.
If these people buy a building.
Do you want to talk about this, John?
Incomplete.
Yeah, I can do it quick.
Sure, quick synopsis.
So 2006, we did have an out area person come in, buy property, start building, stop work ordered it, backtrack on the inspections. Everybody has the opportunity to, pick away at a project over several years, if that's what it takes. As long as you're continuing to work on the project, we set postcards out every year. So each file gets researched annually. Postcard go out for renewal. If it's not done, you're renewing your permit, it's good for another year, you're able to work, you do inspections on it occasionally. The guy started in 06, did a little bit more work in 2019, and then decided to sell the property. And the almost bought it without asking for a CO. The attorney didn't ask us if there was a CO. We weren't included in the title search. So the property changes hands. Unfortunately, the new owner is now responsible for finishing up whatever needs to be finished to satisfy the permit. This happens all the time. So I've been in emails with Sue over the office. She's like, yeah, I didn't know it was an open permit. Here are the 3 or 4 little items that need to be finished. I'll send the check over. This went on for 3 or 4 months back and forth. Never were getting any heated conversations. It was just general conversation about everything was going to be. Send us the $50 when you get it done over the next year. Let's close the permit. You need these 3 or 4 little items to finish up, now hard stuff to do. And then recently, this is what I'm getting back from Bill. So.
I have a brand new smoke detector still in the box. I'm happy to donate.
It's ridiculous stuff too. It's that stuff. They don't need to rip out all the electrical all the way to the road. I said to a meter that was a service inspection. It's already been done. Without the service inspection being done by another third-party agency, they will not put your meter in. If the meter is there on the building, I know that was done. I need a quick internal inspection of what final inspection.
Can they do that now, since the walls are up? Can they, without too much, she made it sound like they couldn't, so it's just.
The whole thing is, David, it does cost for the electrical inspection.
No,
It was like $200.
I had one done for the garage and stuff, yeah, but I
But
just,
it is what it is.
it's just that I didn't know if they could do it when it was. Because I know I had mine done before I could finish the wall.
You get homeowners insurance without an electrical inspection.
The insurance companies will give you insurance on a building without any knowledge of any inspections being done. Which baffles me sometimes on what kind of insurance coverage you can get with a lot of stuff not verified by an insurance company.
They're gonna come and tell you to put your hand out.
But they're gonna tell you what to handle.
Sure, there should be an electrical fire.
There's a couple of agencies that don't talk to each other, like the insurance company, they don't. Yeah.
Amazing.
These are the same folks that had a sewer problem a few years ago. Sewer lines.
There's been several problems over the last 2 decades.
Yeah, it was leach lines and it was a property line issue.
Well, the bottom line is they're responsible for this work.
Correct.
And they can finish it, period.
And look, this property is 4 doors away from their house. So it's not like they didn't know
This was a newer building, cat, they've been watching it the whole time.
Is it livable now?
Their son's living in it or something.
So now I have a question, what's he talking about this 4 months? Buffalo Road thing, do you have any idea?
That was something that happened like 3 or 4. Yeah, so their son lived at this address on Old Buffalo, down in the camp.
Okay.
We might buy more with it, right? The cops went out on a complaint. They contacted our office for building concerns. The renter was not taking care of the house at all. It's run down, needed a ton of work, needs a lot of maintenance, but it's a single family home. So first of all, we get a call and complaint from another entity on a single family home. I just can't go walk in the house. I have to have legal entry. So if I knock on the door and they want to allow me to come in and look around, I'm invited in, I can get in, I have legal entry. If they slam the door in your face, you're not getting in without a search warrant. So you have to go by, then talk to the officer who was there. What did you see? What did you not see? Did you have a body camera on? Is there something there that is so hazardous I need to throw everybody out of the door? There was a few things. Darren actually went by after a while. He was able to get entry into the house. There was a few things that needed to be cleaned up. It's just filthy kind of conditions, that kind of stuff. So we, they did a little bit of fixing in what they had to do, but it wasn't enough to throw anybody out. But it was a close relative in the family, and
I think his brother went to school in Charlotte. Oh, dear. So, I don't know.
we didn't have that, but that took a while to get into the house because we weren't able to get legal entry. So if that's the 4 months he's referring to, I'm assuming it is. So sometimes it just takes a while in order to get in there.
But the house is okay now.
As far as we know, yeah. I haven't had any other complaints on it since then.
Any other questions for John on this?
How are we gonna get him to do these last 4 things?
He doesn't get the permit unless he does the 3 things.
Do we need to send him an official letter that says, you need to do these things and, then you can get the permit.
We have sent the current building owners homes 9 notifications of what they need to do. So we're at the violation order to remedy phase. They also just got the warning letter on the 5th of the month. The next phase would be to file a petition if it's not renewed or the work's not done.
So
That's where it's
a
at.
street address exists, it just needs to be posted.
We filed the petition, once that gets filed, usually then there's a court date set up within a month of the petition being filed. And then, usually in that case, once we petition, once we get to the court, typically the removal fees are closer to about $400. And then it's set by the court on when you're going to complete those items. And then usually they either admit to the violation or we adjourn because they want an attorney. And then we come back and talk about it on another court date. That's the normal process.
So going forward, we won't have another hassle from
There's,
same process. Should the same process have true for that?
well, yeah, that means that we can, well, I don't know about them, but I don't care about it a little more. If
they're there when they call for an inspection. I don't drive up to county over there to see if he's living there or is he's got there to work on the property. I don't know. I mean, there are ones that are more readily visible that if you drive by and you know that it's a project that's going on and you have good reason that someone is living there, yeah, we have to stop that. But you need to get on, have enough work so we can issue a temp CBO, get you going on a temp CBO while you're there and working on the property. And that's why we changed those renewal fees on those temp CBOs too, that encourage somebody to complete the project once the temp CBO is issued. Temp CBO is $100, it's good for 6 months. The second renewal is $100, the third renewal is the original permit fee cost every 6 months. So they're the big incentive that happens. Permit for a house now is around $500 to $600. So when you're spending $500 or $600 every 6 months, if you have remaining items to finish, point out fit, so right, pay the county, right here, you know what I mean? I'm happy to take the money, I don't need while I get closed up.
Okay. Yep. So there's really not a solution unless he does what needs to be done.
Right, finishing up work so we can satisfy it so that it gets. Don't need to go back for every single. Not looking for every finish now in the house to be done. It just needs to be done enough to close the project. It's an over.
Now, I'm just asking this question. What would happen if we gave him a time frame? Because he should be able to accomplish everything in what, 30 days?
Oh, yeah.
He should be able to get everything done in 30 days. Tell him if he gets it done within that 30 days, we're happy.
Dave, I don't think you want to give him a special time frame because Don just outlined.
I'm on a time frame. Yeah.
Okay.
So last October, I notified them that their current orders, there's no here the items that need to be finished. They said, you know, okay, send us over what it is, I will take care of it. In the meantime, we'll send you a renewal fee. The following month, we swapped emails with Sue about what needed to be done. I sent her an email with the same information. And then in December, we sent out a postcard, a little postcard as a reminder that permit's still open. Now I give you 3 months. The following month, in January, I sent another postcard with final numbers. Still nothing. And then in February, I sent a violation order remedy, but I sent it what I call blind. I didn't send a certified mail.
Okay, yeah.
Give you another 30 days. Then after that, in March, I sent a certified violation, giving you another 30 days. So now here we are today.
So the certified letter is what got our attention. Is what you're saying. So we've already gave her several days to complete it. And it would probably walk in and said, Don, here's my completion. I'm happy, come and inspect it. And you would have said, okay, thank you.
Yep.
Have a good day.
And any one of these times since last November, they could have invited me up there, did those 3 items, invited me up there, and I would go.
No, okay, no, I'm happy. That's what I was asking. It's basically what I was.
They've had 9 notifications. Since I started.
So I'm more than pleased that with, you've already ample.
I do this for everybody. This isn't just a special.
No.
Thing. I mean, we go out of our way to give everybody every opportunity to take care of what they need to take care of. And even if they take care of 2 items and they still have 1 item lacking, I'll extend it out further. You got the one thing left to go.
At least you're moving.
Yeah. As long as you're moving on, we're good, you know. The end result for every permit is just compliance. Right? So once you're in compliance, we're good. Everyone's happy.
So we just do the process then.
We just go through the process.
Yeah. I mean, they'll have another 30 days before I can get the petition done, file and court date.
So fix it.
There'll be another number that goes by. There will be. In the meantime, I'll not there and get it let them know. Let's just finish this off. It's not a big deal.
Right.
But they never did file for a permit. I mean, the first email she sent, she sent a check, that never showed up.
She said she'd be ready to renew the permit so that they could get those items done, and they never came.
Good luck.
I got a permit for my barn to do a new roof, and I didn't paint, I put a new board up, and I didn't paint it, they made me paint it, I had to go
Yeah.
back up there with the mail, I had to get the mail back in there and go and paint it.
I guess that-
That was different.
That was there, I know, because we came back and saw they were, so you're gonna make, get up there and paint that board.
You did.
And there was several things we were doing, my daughter's place, you know. And
Put a new board on.
it's the way it is. And it's not, it's Don's job to enforce
So that.
what the state tells us we have to do, basically, right? Can't change that. And we can't supersede the state. I don't know. I'm trying to rectify, please.
Like I said, it's just 6, 7, it's so hard. Oh, make a move.
We are.
It was.
4 or 5.